Reg julle, in die vorige video het ons gekyk na julle klasnotas, so hierdie is die addisionele notas, waarna ons gaan kyk vir die gedig Boodskapper. Eerste slide hierso, of die eerste skyfie, as kies tog, is die gedig. Ek gaan hom nie weer vir julle lees nie. Julle het hom al gehoor, en dan natuurlik het ek vir julle ook die Engels hier gesit. Maak net asseblief seker, ek dink nie julle het dit op die notas wat op julle WhatsApp groepe gestuur is nie. As jy nie die Engelse weergawe het nie, maak asseblief 'n skermgreep, 'n screen grab of this, so that you have it. Dis ook op die gedigte op Teams, so julle kan net daar gaan kyk. All of these things we've discussed before. We said the theme is that of love. Die stemming is speels, so the tone is playful. Versreëls word ingekeep om gedagtes te beklemtoon, so stanza lines are being indented to emphasize thoughts or ideas. Gedig is in vrye vers geskryf, en geen vaste rympatroon nie, no set rhyme scheme. Die gedig bestaan uit 3 kwatryne en 1 tersiene, and this just explains a quatrain is a stanza with 4 lines, whereas a tersiene is a stanza with 3 lines. Good, stanza 1 then, we spoke about Venus being the messenger in the poem, and it is personified in the title. Nee? So die Venus is die boodskapper wat in die gedig, en het word gepersonifiseer deur die titel van die gedig, die boodskapper. First line there, remember S alliterasie, die aandster vonkel soos speels vanaand. Also, vanaand indicates that things happen at night, therefore you can see the star. So die gebeure vind in die aand plaas, daarom is die aandster sigbaar. Knipoog is an example of personification, he winks, we've spoken about that in the previous slide. My en jou is typografies uitgehef deur inkeping van die versreëls, kort versreëls, jou en my is aan die einde van die versreëls geplaas. We've spoken about that as well, the emphasis of my en jou. En die strofe eindig met 'n retoriese vraag. This we did not discuss in the other slides. Retoriese vrae, as you know, is rhetorical questions, which is a poem for which no answer is expected or no answer is needed. In this case, we think that the biggest possibility is he's not speaking to his loved one, he's speaking to Venus, and Venus is a planet, so it's definitely not going to answer him in any way, shape, or form. So that is why there is no answer to this. But this strengthens the idea that follows in the next stanza when he goes and says, you are the thought or the speed of a thought away from me. You are as far away from me as the brightest star. So it links the two together in that regard. Then the key thought here, or the core of the poem, is the message of love between the two people. Right. We already spoke about Kaapse Afrikaans, so we're not going to go into more detail there. We have a vergelyking. Jy so naby is die helderste ster. We spoke about the vergelyking already. Pardon the bird. Die geliefde se nabyheid word met 'n helder ster of Venus vergelyk. So the closeness of the loved one is compared to the brightest star, the distance of the brightest star. Binnerym, we spoke about binnerym. We said binnerym is alliterasie en assonansie. So in this case we have an example of assonansie. Jy en naby. Okay? Eindrym, we also have the naby and my, but this is about the only places where you will find that. Goed, then we spoke about contrast as well. The brightest star, helderste ster is ver, maar die gedagte is vinnig, thought is fast. Die helderste ster verwys na die aandster in reël 1, so we have the link between the two there. Die helderste ster beklemtoon wie die boodskapper van die liefde moet wees. So the brightest star emphasizes here who the messenger of love ought to be. Then, die geliefde is so naby, want jy kan aan haar dink. So hy says, jy is die spoed van 'n gedagte weg van my. You are so close to me, I think of you and you are there. So the loved one is close because he can think of her. And then Jace, we said, remember we spoke about that when we spoke about the characteristics of Kaapse Afrikaans. We said that if a word is contracted like this, like you would have in English, it is called in Afrikaans a kontraksie, but it is also called elisie, so just take a note of that. And then die twee geliefdes is nie naby mekaar nie. We know that the two loved ones are not close to each other. Nou, alhoewel die ster letterlik ver van die aarde is, die boodskap wat dit bring net 'n gedagte van die spreker weg. So even though the star is literally very far away from the earth, the message that it brings is just a thought away from the speaker. He thinks of his loved one when he sees the star, and he knows it carries a message of love. Ek los 'n boodskap by Venus vir jou. Venus is die Romeinse godin van liefde en ook die symbool van liefde. So Venus is the Roman goddess of love and also the symbol of love. But we've spoken about that before. Venus word as 'n veilige plek beskou. So Venus is described as a safe place for this message to be because it is the planet or goddess of love. Aandklas, the poet's loved one, or the speaker's loved one, sorry, is in an evening class, and the evening, or because it's evening, Venus is very brightly there in the sky. Die afstand tussen die geliefde en die ster word as die blote uitsteek van 'n hand beskryf. So here it says, kom stiek uit jou hand, haal dit af, meaning I've left my message on Venus, put out your hand and take it off. So the distance between the lover and Venus is described as a physical, put out your hand and take it off. The dubbelpunt colon there says an explanation, a verduideliking volg. Die inkeping there we spoke about as well, beklemtoon hoe die geliefde moet rek om die boodskap te kry. So it emphasizes the stretch that the speaker or the loved one has to make to get the message from Venus. Die implikasie is dat die geliefde net haar hand moet uitsteek om die briefie te kry, maar dit is nie regtig so maklik nie. So remember, the poem is figurative. If I tell you, stretch out your hand and take Venus for me, it's not going to happen because it's very far away. So the implication is that it's as simple as just doing that, but we know in literal terms that it's really not that easy. Then, dis die briefie met die swinkie op die omslag, we spoke about that, is 'n liefdesboodskap, en die boodskapper van die liefde word in letterlike terme hier verduidelik. So, it's a love message, and here we finally see now it is something physical, something literal. It is a letter. Die briefie word beskryf sodat sy geliefde sal weet watter een dit is. We've spoken about that as well. Seeing as the message is left on Venus, there's probably a lot of messages of love. So how will she know which one is hers? She will look for the one with the kiss on the envelope. So that's why it is being described here. Die swinkie, remember briefie, swinkie, both of them are in diminutive form. Dit sê dis 'n eenvoudige boodskap. It is a simple message. Die inkeping in die laaste reël, we spoke about that as well. Skep die gevoel dat die soen op die omslag in die wit spasie gegee moet word. So the kiss that goes on the cover should go into this open space over here. Die boodskap is belangrik. So the message obviously is important. Maar ons weet nie wat presies dit sê nie. We don't know exactly what this message says. Die swinkie bevestig wel dat dit 'n boodskap van liefde is. So the kiss emphasizes here or makes the statement clear that this is indeed a message of love. And that is the end.